Free and financing available. For more info, call 1-800-SPA-SALE.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, friends. How we doing? Huh? Are we good? Yeah, everybody's good. We're with you until
So
12 o'clock.
weird.
I am?
The you that opens this show every day
Yeah.
is a version of you that does not exist in any other time, place, or space.
If you're talking about why I'm not like this in the office, I'd like to not do a full show before the show.
You're not like this anywhere,
You're
though.
over there in your cubicle like, wow! That's the whole morning. Like, calm down. We have 3 hours of this, and I have 4.
We're coming hot.
Yes, 314-436-79. Calm down, lady. Has he ever told you to relax? Have you ever told you you need to relax?
Just you. Yeah, just you. That lady that's on the show in the morning with Chris Raji, she laughs a lot. A little too much.
314-436-7900. File your complaints there.
That's right.
Leave us voice messages on the Odyssey
Heavens
app.
knows Harambe does.
He's always
Oh, my gosh.
bitching about something, this guy. No, you guys aren't paying enough attention to me. 314-436-7900. Voice messages on the Odyssey app. Also, watch the show on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitter. You will have a really nice time if you do it. We're on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, the police officers union had some things to say about Mayor Kara Spencer, who at a funeral had conversations with some officers about pay. We'd like to get to the bottom of that. We are going to talk to Chief Tracy today. Robert Tracy is going to be on the show. That is at 11 o'clock. We've also put out an invitation to the mayor as well.
And how much money would make you feel comfortable for retirement? How much money do you need to retire? That's a big discussion a lot of us have been having.
$1 billion.
Yep. A new poll reveals the number for most Americans. And Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, will join us to discuss.
And the Cardinals split that doubleheader yesterday against the Reds. They will play today. We got a pregame show at 4:45 and a first pitch at 5:40. And it says here on the piece of paper I've got in front of me, the rundown, that our producer Pajeski says that it's time to cut Baez. What?
It does. It says right here. Matt says it's time to trade Baez.
Well, trade is not going to happen. I think you
right.
said DFA, didn't you?
I said
DFA.
something like that, maybe.
Yeah, because after the 3 home run outburst to start his career, he's 0 for 15. So Pajeski's ready to be done already.
You know, Matt's a real what have you done for me lately kind of guy.
He kind of is.
It's frustrating.
Fickle.
And
He is fickle.
it's also a good idea to stick around at noon today because on the Gas House Gang, Oliver Marmol will be on the show, Cardinals manager. He's with us every Tuesday from 12 until about 12:30 with Bernie Ackerman and me. So there you go. Amy, the police and the mayor they've got a little bit of a feud going on here today. So apparently what happened was just to kind of Cliff's notes this a little bit for people, there was a funeral for an officer who had committed suicide. The mayor, of course, attended, as the mayor should. And at some point, when she was talking to a handful of officers, she says there were 3 of them that she was speaking to. She got into the conversation about pay and benefits. Now, if you listen to the mayor who was on with us last week, and she'll be making regular appearances on this show, we've worked that out with her. And she has said this more than once. I mean, she's talked to us about this a couple of times, about St. Louis City police officer pay, that it's substandard. But a lot of the money, inordinately, in her opinion, goes to benefits instead. And her contention is, and she has expressed this clearly, that why not just put some of that money that goes to benefits, which are already kind of off the charts, according to her.
She said it's like above and beyond
disproportionate.
Standard.
Yes. So why not just put that in pay? Because I would assume, this is her speaking, that the police officers would appreciate that money in salary as opposed to benefits.
And as a quick note, which is anecdotal, I totally understand what I'm about to say is anecdotal, but have talked to a few police officers because you see city cops out and about, and I've talked to them, and they were talking about a lot of the younger police officers that are leaving the force because I think about 50% of the St. Louis police officers are eligible for retirement. 50. Yeah. And a lot of younger folks are going to counties that pay more. And from my experience talking to some of these officers, they said, oh, yes, if you're a young family, cash now is of the utmost importance as opposed to maybe benefits 30 years down the road. You want benefits, but cash now would be a game changer for helping police officers stay.
So this has been the mayor's argument, and apparently at some point this conversation broke out between her and a couple of officers, 3, she said.
I think new graduates, my understanding.
Yeah, newer
Recent
police
graduates.
officers. The police union issued a statement last night saying they were unhappy with the mayor for doing that. It wasn't the time or place. So already there's this adversarial thing that's going on here.
And to be fair, like they didn't mince words. As you said, they said it was completely inappropriate. Quote, it is also callous, disrespectful, and beneath the person holding the position of mayor.
Yeah, I don't know about that last part. That might be a stretch. And I would like to hear
their
from...
quote.
That's what... Yeah,
I'm reading their quote.
Right. So I don't know that I agree with them on that. I would like to know how the conversation broke out. Because let's be honest, we've all been at a funeral. And when you're at a funeral, while it is a somber event, sometimes conversations happen and laughter happens. In fact, we're not even saying that that's what happened at this funeral, but it's not out of the ordinary for a regular conversation to take place at a funeral. And who knows how it came up? Maybe somehow maybe these officers said, I'm an event like this makes us think about the future. It makes us think about how we're being paid. Maybe they said that. Maybe they had expressed that to her. We don't have any idea.
We don't. We weren't there. And the mayor did issue a statement responding because, again, the police officers union did not mince word. I mean, it was very direct and critical of the mayor. And the mayor said that she was deeply moved by the stories that the police officers shared, hearing about where they are from, the districts they serve, the honorable way they show up in uniform for our community, and what motivates them to do this important and dangerous work. She continued, compensation is often part of motivation, and I was grateful they shared their perspective on this matter and humbled to hear that what motivates them most is doing excellent work. I'm saddened and disappointed by the statement issued by the SLPOA and how they are mischaracterizing these conversations and using my presence at a funeral to instigate a false narrative. It continues, but that was, part of her statement. And again, we weren't there. I don't know how organically this conversation came up. But I will say, I agree with you. I've been at funerals. I've been at visitations, and you're standing around and you're talking to people. Often you're seeing people that you either haven't seen in a very long time or that you rarely see because this is an event that brings people together. And while it is a somber occasion, I mean, I was waiting in line recently at a funeral where it was a very long wait for the visitation. There were people, laughing, talking.
Yeah.
And the thing is, every funeral has that because it always strikes me as funerals are so weird because it's somber, but then conversations happen and some people laugh. Some people are just like, oh, how are you? I haven't seen you in so long. Sometimes the Cardinals are brought up. Sports are brought up. And so can I envision a situation in which the mayor's talking to officers and they talk about motivation and they talk about pay? To me, that makes sense that might come up.
Yeah,
if it were to come up organically versus, yes, if she was accosting people and walking up to them.
If she walked up to officers at the funeral and said, hey, sorry for your loss, don't you think you should make more money? Then,
right.
Yeah, okay,
this
is a problem. It seems to me, until we have more information on how this happened, it seems to me that maybe the police union went a little too far in this thing. And I'm not sure what their motivation is, why they, I would think that they would like the idea of their officers making more money. So I don't know. We need to know more about it. So we're going to talk to Police Chief Tracy today.
We need to note, issued a statement.
Yes.
And he did. And he said, and again, we're reading, the statements are all fairly long here, but there were statements from the Police Officers Association, from Mayor Kara Spencer, and from Police Chief Robert Tracy. In his statement, he says, a funeral should remain a sacred and solemn space to honor our officers and support his family and grieving colleagues. While I was not present for the conversation now being discussed, I have heard the concerns of our officers and take them seriously. A funeral is not the place for conversations about compensation and benefits. And then it, continues about looking out for each other. And again, I don't know. We weren't there. The mayor, Kara Spencer, in her statement also said that she's very sorry that this happened. That the conversation was mischaracterized, because she said now this is the story instead of the fallen officer. And she said, I'm so sorry to the family that now this is the story, when that is not how the conversation happened. She wasn't debating and being belligerent. So it's a weird situation. As you mentioned, we're going to talk to the chief, but funerals and visitations are weird places because it's very somber, but then also normal conversations happen too.
Yeah, it's a little
weird.
It's difficult to be at a funeral and to not be human, right? I mean, of course you're sad because of what's going on. You could be in the middle of the worst thing ever going on and find a little gallows humor or a moment of comic relief. It just happens. And I'm not saying that's what happened here. It doesn't sound like she was making jokes, and I doubt that she was, as you said, berating officers. Like, no, you definitely want more money. What do you mean you don't? What do you mean you want all these benefits? I seriously doubt that happened, but I'd like to hear more from her. I'd like to hear from both parties beyond just written statements.
Yeah, and I mean, love to hear from you, 314-436-7900. But we were talking about this, like you said, before the show, where conversations happen at funerals. They just do. And I mean, you think of how dangerous a police officer's life is. And yes, you want good benefits and retirement packages and compensation. But there's also no guarantee that you'll make it for a long, long time, because it's such a dangerous place. So maybe you're thinking, okay, I want good compensation, but I also want money now because I need to take care of my family now. And there's, funerals do always inject a little bit of that immediacy of mortality into conversations. So I just don't know. But I can see it, how this would come up. I don't know. We'll
see what Chief Tracy has to say. We have extended an invitation to the mayor, who does speak with us regularly. But, I mean, this is a situation that kind of came out of nowhere. So would like to speak to her, and hopefully she'll have time to join us today before the show is over. 314-436-7900. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
So, okay. I have been thinking about strength training for a long time, years now. And people think a lot of times like, oh, you must be really comfortable going to the gym. You must know what you're doing. You must do strength training because you run. And the truth is, I don't. I feel really out of place at gyms. I also feel like I don't have a lot of time to go to a gym because I'm spending so much time running. And I'm in my 40s. And the thing is, running doesn't build muscles in the way that strength training does. So I'm excited actually to be working now with a new client, the exercise coach. I've already seen Justin at the Webster Groves location, and I got to do my first workout, and I was really sore, but I love it because it was quick, like 20 minutes for your whole workout, and it's focused and concentrated so that you can really build strength. Just 2 20-minute sessions per week, and you'll be able to build that strength, like I said, improve your fitness, and feel more confident in everyday life. So whether you want to build muscle tone, whether you want to make sure that you'll be healthy enough with the grandkids, that you can continue doing things you love, like playing pickleball or hiking, or maybe you're just intimidated by the gym and you don't have time and you're like, I want to build strength, but I don't know how. The exercise coach is for you. And the first 2 sessions are free. There are 8 locations throughout the greater St. Louis area. Just search the exercise coach near me, the exercise coach near me, to find the closest one.
Hey, it's Jen Hatmaker. Here's what I've learned in midlife. Joy isn't the reward you earn after all the work is done. Joy is the work. That's what this new series on For the Love is all about. The sacred yes. It's choosing delight, rest, and pleasure on purpose. Because saying yes to yourself, that's the thing that finally lets you fill your table with everybody else. Come find your sacred yes with me. Follow and listen to For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Summer is waning, sadly, I know, but you've had enough time now to really assess how your outdoor space is working. Is it working for you? You've probably noticed whether the deck is starting to buckle or splinter and needs replacing, or you'd really like a fence to separate you and your neighbor. Whatever it is in your outdoor space, it's never too late to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Now, what does that mean, the sign you have the very best? Well, first of all, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years. A third-generation, locally owned family company. They also have an incredible reputation because they only use the best quality materials, and they have their own installation crews, which is very important because they have years of experience. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck is going to stand behind everything they do. When you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll also take 20% off your next outdoor project. So go with the best. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck. You can visit them in person, or they'll come to you, or visit online now at chesterfieldfence.com.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri is here for you with free confidential support. Counselors help with stress, coping skills, and connect to resources. If the St. Louis tornado impacted you, visit moshowmehope.org from Missouri Department of Mental Health.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
We love to hear from you at 314-436-7900. We were talking about the kerfuffle that's going on between the Police Officers Union and Mayor Kara Spencer, and a conversation that happened about pay at a recent funeral for a fallen officer. And a texter says, I see both sides. I do agree it may not have been the most appropriate time for that discussion. As Amy said, stuff happens. Overall, it seems everyone is just wanting to jump on people these days for whatever they deem wrong or inappropriate. Too many opinions. People need to just chill out.
Yeah, I'd like to know if there's a political. This, to me, it oozes with politics. That maybe the union just doesn't like the mayor for whatever reason. Maybe she's the wrong party, or maybe it's because of this tension between the city and the police board. I mean, the city administration and the police board. Maybe it's something to do with all of that. That really it isn't about so much this thing. It just seems like an opportunity to jump on. And correct me if I'm wrong. You know, maybe that's not what it is. Maybe they have a legitimate gripe here, but it seemed to me like an overreaction to something, unless she was truly being disrespectful at a funeral. But I kind of doubt it.
Can I say this real quick about that? Let's say she were being disrespectful at a funeral, wouldn't the more appropriate thing be for the police officers union to meet with her privately and say, hey, or meet with the board, but meet, with behind closed doors and say, hey, I don't think this conversation was appropriate. It really rubbed us the wrong way versus they chose to go public with it.
That's why it sounds like a political opportunity to me.
They said, we're going to issue a statement.
Yes.
Because I'm just confused of why they felt,
because the public didn't know anything about it.
We didn't know.
We would have known anything about it unless they issued the statement.
Right. So
they did it for a reason.
Yes, they chose to go public with it. And the thing is, it wasn't. I mean, maybe if she had said something horrible like "I hate police officers," then they would have put that in the statement. Yeah. Then you want. But what I'm saying is to go public with something like the public needs to know this would be if it were just totally over the top. But if it were a conversation about pay and benefits, they thought, the Police Officers Association apparently thought, the public needs to know this, which is weird.
Yes,
it's a little weird.
I wish I could disagree with it. It is. There's a reason they decided to put that out there when nobody would have known the difference. And I mean, that's a thing I didn't even think of. That, hey, if you have an issue with her,
go tell her.
Pull her aside, say, look, we know what your thoughts are on the pay and the benefits and all of that. This isn't the place to do it.
Why did they need to go public with this?
Because it's political. And prove me wrong. They can prove me wrong, and I will listen, but it sure sounds to me like there's a political motivation behind it, and I don't know what that is. And again, like I said a minute ago, maybe it's because she's just in the wrong party, or maybe it's because of this police board stuff, and it's residual from that. I don't know, but it seemed completely unnecessary. Hopefully, we will hear from the mayor today. We are definitely going to talk to Chief Tracy. That'll be at 11 o'clock. We were going to talk to him anyway. We had him on the show for other stuff, but we will definitely be talking about this with him as well. Somebody who might be in trouble with the police soon enough is Matt Pajeski, who thinks that the Cardinals should get rid of Joshua Baez now. Because if you remember, and how could you forget, on Saturday, he started his major league career with a home run on the first swing of his life.
Yeah.
Well, major league life. And then he proceeded to hit 2 more home runs in a row. So incredible. Then he lined out at the end of the game on Saturday. He's not gotten a hit since. He is 0 for 15 since then. He has struck out 6 times, which is it's a pretty high number. That's not good. One of them, though, yikes is bad.
Matt is so arrogant right now.
He is.
He's like, this guy.
And
he's like putting out his cigarette like, I wasn't even that excited when he hit the home runs. I knew it was a blip.
He wasn't even paying attention.
That's right.
And to be fair to him, one of those strikeouts was not a strikeout.
Right.
It was a ball. He should have challenged it, but he didn't.
And some of the other outs, he had really good contact.
Yes. So the balls that have been put into play have been hit hard. He just doesn't have a lot of that right now. So I don't think that they're going to get rid of him, Matt.
Probably for the best.
You know what? Right. We'll ask Ollie.
No,
Ollie's on the Gas House gang,
and
I will say our producer Matt Pajeski would like to know if you're going to get rid of Joshua Baez.
Yeah, he thinks you should.
No,
because he's 0 for 15 since the bombs.
I have no defense.
I mean, I think during the interview, Matt, you should have a cigarette. Just like, what about this guy? He thinks he can hit 3 home runs and stay in the big leagues.
This guy stinks.
This guy stinks.
That's terrible of you, Matt.
Quick note, 618 text in about our conversation about the funeral. He says, I met my wife at a funeral home. She was the friend of my cousin whose father, my uncle, had died. Blank happens.
What is this, Wedding Crashers?
I know. I think
Funeral Crashers.
They fell in love.
Well, if you remember Will Ferrell's character in Wedding Crashers, he has graduated to crashing funerals.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I do think people meet at funerals. I think it's a thing.
I've never heard of that. Do you guys you honestly know people who've met?
Yeah, because they're like reunited.
No. Oh. Well, that's not the same. Reunited is not.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's your story?
Well, I guess this guy.
Okay.
But at any rate. Yeah, thank you for texting in 314-436-7900.
So it looks like we have a pilot shortage. We need pilots. Boeing has said that the industry is looking for well over 500,000 new pilots by 2045. And there's got to be something done about that. We're going to talk to Patrick Arnzen, CEO of Thrust Flight, which is a pilot training program. He's going to be with us in just a moment. Also, we need to talk to him about kids on planes and those of you that don't know how to control your children and what should be done about that. Should they open up the door mid-flight?
Does every seat have a chute?
We'll see you. See you back home. Here's $50.
And a parachute.
That's right. Well, baseball does happen today. Cardinals play tonight, 5:40, with a pregame show of 4:45 here on KMOX. And the hits get even bigger with Dinger Tuesdays. That's right, Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel, where customers, that's you, can choose your own reward every Tuesday to use on home run bets. So how are you going to play your game? You have two options. You can take the bet reset, which you can use on your wager, and then you get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses. Or option two, a 50% profit boost. So you make your bet, you activate the profit boost, and if it hits, that is extra winnings at no extra cost. So make your choice, and the reward is going to be ready for you to use on your next home run bet. So Joshua Baez, maybe back in the lineup tonight, hopefully for the Cardinals. And if he is, he's going to get back on that horse. That's what I'm going to say. He's going to get back on that horse tonight. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to choose your reward for home run bets every Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the Home for Home Runs on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. It's not really a sports show. It's just a show.
So I don't really have a sports show, but I love the Cardinals. I am born and bred St. Louis, went to my first game like so many of you, 4 years old. Couldn't believe how green it was standing there next to the players with my dad, and now I go with my kids. You get it. So when you listen to the DGS, it's going to be a slice of life happy hour, but we're always going to talk Cardinals.
The Dave Glover Show at 1. Then stick around for Cardinals baseball. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Listen to this. 77 degrees. Sunshine today, a few clouds. A bit warmer today, a high of 99. Tonight, cloudy with a couple of heavy showers and a thunderstorm. Towards dawn, a low of 71.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast.
Pump up the volume.
When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
My house has a new glow. I love my window.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 for free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Today, the Cards, the Reds.
Ameren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, I was thinking about being a pilot.
Were you?
I mean, what the hell? Maybe I'll do the second half as a pilot.
Oh, giving up on the park rangers so quickly. I'm sure there's a lot of park rangers who aren't going to be thrilled to hear it.
That's actually probably very true. Because I will take their jobs. But you could become a pilot, and it looks like the industry is looking for pilots. Boeing has recently said that 674,000 new pilots will be needed by the year 2045. What? So to talk about that with us is a former airline pilot and current CEO of Thrust Flight, which is a training program for pilots. Patrick Arnzen joins the show. Patrick, welcome to the Quiver River Electric guest line. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Is it too late for me to be a pilot? I'm 49 years old.
You got until 65. You still have time.
Okay. So how long does it take? Couple hours?
Just a few.
Okay.
I don't think he has the disposition for it. Yeah, I don't think you don't want this guy in the air. Okay, but
what a good radio voice for the radio, right? So I mean, he's going to sound so cool when he's talking to all the air traffic controllers.
That's actually a great point.
You know, before we get to that, now that we're on this topic, how come everybody sounds like, well, 40,000 feet? How come all pilots sound like that?
That's the cool guy voice. I don't know. Everybody's voice transforms when they click that button, I guess.
Like,
I've been accused of that.
Really? Well, it's like all the actors from the 1920s saying, we all sound the same. Why does everybody sound like this?
I will say,
all pilots sound the same.
We are in media, and there is definitely a news voice, too. So I guess our industry has it. Yeah. But
I love it.
Patrick, all joking aside, 674,000 new pilots through 2045 seems like a super high number.
It's a big number. You know, it is a big number. And it's really driven by how many people are going to be retiring from this industry. That number is just replacing 2/3 of the retiring current population. And then the rest, accounts for growth. So big numbers, and here at Thrust Flight, we're doing our best to help solve for that challenge.
So you've got a lot of people retiring, which then it leads me to believe that there just aren't enough people who choose to go into this industry once they, leave the military or once they graduate college or whatever it is? Or is it that the industry is expanding so much they just need the bodies? What does that mean?
I think it's a little bit of both, and aviation is very cyclical. So there's generally kind of big booms and big waves of hiring, and unfortunately, the airlines and some other people in the industry, they don't look kind of far enough down the road. We kind of look at what is the current state of the airline, and how many pilots do we need in the next month, in the next 6 months, or maybe the next year. But what we're not doing is looking down the road and saying, what do we need in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And, and I think a lot of that, that need and that kind of lack of visibility really causes these big waves of training to happen. So it's kind of feast or famine when we're training. And creating a pilot is not a light switch. It takes about a year of training to get somebody to the point that they're ready to start building the flight time in order to go to the airlines. In order for somebody to go to the airlines, they have to accumulate 1,500 hours. So, in generally, the fastest that can be done is in a 2-year period of time. So it's not a light switch, and I would encourage anybody that's thinking about becoming a pilot or thinking about maybe switching careers, to not look at what the hiring climate looks like today, to look at what it's going to be in the next 2, 3, 4 years when you get through your flight training, because that's really the best time to start flight training is before these massive waves really hit.
Patrick, I don't know if you have these numbers off the top of your head, so I apologize. But I know growing up, I had always heard that a large percentage of commercial airline pilots were former military pilots, like fighter jet pilots, and that number, I mean, for a lot of reasons, has gone down of how many former fighter pilots are now commercial pilots. Is that part of the issue too?
I mean, I think that's a big part of it. We got a lot of pilots into the airlines after World War II. A lot of the military pilots came and flew from the airlines, and then the same thing in Korea and Vietnam. And not just fighter pilots, but transport pilots, helicopter pilots, things like that. The fact of the matter is the military is not training nearly as many pilots as they used to, or what you would call a conventional pilot. There are a lot more drones, now than there have ever been. And I think the military's really switched to that. And I think they're also doing everything they can to hang on to their pilots. And I apologize, I don't have the number right in front of me, but I think it's something like 5% of, the new incoming pilots are former military.
And that's what I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm interested in that, since we have so many unmanned aircraft that are in battles that you're not seeing quite as many pilots being used. So does that mean that they're just going to train fewer pilots, or does it mean something else? Or could it be that now that you have these, and I don't know, maybe this makes no sense at all, but the drone operators, do they have any sort of skill set that might give them a head start if they enter a training program after the military?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anybody that's flown a drone, especially in a military capacity, is definitely going to have a head start in the industry. But they still have to meet all the same requirements that a conventional pilot, a non autonomous pilot would have to go through. But they would certainly have a head start.
So when we hear about issues at airports like flight delays, flight cancellations, how much of that is driven by the shortage of aviation workers and pilots? Because I know it's not just pilots, it's really the whole industry.
Yeah, and I think the pilots always kind of get the headline. But it's not just pilots, it's aircraft mechanics, it's aircraft dispatchers. It's the folks that handle all the baggage, all the customer service folks. It's an entire ecosystem that you have to look at holistically. But that's a huge piece of it. An airline can build, or an airport can build infrastructure. An airline can have gates, but if you don't have the airplanes and the pilots and the mechanics supporting all of that, that ecosystem does not work. And that's what's going to drive delays, and that's what's going to drive canceled flights, things like that. So all the things that we hate when we go to the airport.
Patrick Arnzen, CEO of Thrust Flight, is with us on KMOX. And so, I mean, last thing from me on this, is this going to be a situation where pilots are just going to have to get paid? And I mean, the promise of, hey, when you go through this program and you take all the hours, you get all the hours that you are required of you, and you become a commercial pilot, we're going to have to pay these people. Is that basically what it's going to come down to, that the pay is going to have to go up?
Well, the pay's already gone up quite a bit. When I became an airline pilot, years and years ago, I think my first year as a first officer, and this was back in 2006, so not that long ago, was about $17,000 a year. So back then, pilots were really, especially new pilots, were very, very underpaid. And I think that was a big cause of not enough people getting trained, is because it wasn't a great job. You know, the neat thing today is first officers are starting over six figures. So the pay has gone up considerably. So it is a really, really wonderful job. And I think you'll continue to see those pay rates go up. But, you know, pilots are now, you know, exceeding what doctors in many cases are making, and lawyers and things like that. So I think it's a really, really great job. And, you know, a 4-year degree is not required, which is great. So people can, you know, kind of get to work even earlier. So it's a great opportunity. I think the real problem is just awareness. You know, I think a lot of folks still have this mindset that you have to go through the military to become an airline pilot, or it's just super expensive, which it's not cheap to become a pilot. But I think if you compare it to a traditional 4-year college degree, and if you do flight training in lieu of that, I think the return on your investment is considerably better.
All right, Patrick, the question we've all been waiting for. There was a flight a couple of weeks ago from British Columbia to Toronto that had to be canceled because a child would not sit down and buckle in a seatbelt before takeoff. And the crew and the parent with the child could not get the child to sit down. And it took so long, and they tried for so long, that by the time they abandoned their efforts, escorted the child and the parent off the plane and got their luggage, they had to cancel the whole flight. As a pilot, what would you have done? And how long do you give an unruly child before you have to get them off the plane so that you can take off?
Oh my gosh, I never experienced that in all my years of flying. So I think I'd have to question the parenting skills there.
Right?
I think I'd give them about 5-10 minutes, and then I think I'd boot them off the airplane. But maybe I'm not as patient as some.
I think that's right. But I mean, think of that whole plane, that's a cross-country flight. BC to Toronto, and they all had to wait till the next day. Because
that's crazy.
I think they tried for about an hour, they said. That's way too long.
So you've never you've never had to land a plane because of an unruly passenger?
Or cancel? Yeah.
I've never, I have never had to land an airplane. I have had to get up out of my seat and go back and have some conversations.
Oh, what's that like?
With folks.
What were they doing?
It basically I think they were arguing with the flight attendant, and just, you know, being
jerks.
Jerks, yeah. Thank you.
So what do you say to them?
So basically, sit down and we're going to land this airplane. Yeah. You know, and you know, the police are going to be waiting for you. You know, and we hate to do that.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, that's not what anybody wants. And, you know, generally most people are reasonable, and, you know, I think we hear all these crazy stories, and I think those are certainly the exceptions. But it does happen sometimes, and I think, you know, for whatever reason, if the pilot goes back and has a conversation, you know, and this should not be the case, but you know, sometimes it carries more weight than what the flight attendants say.
Well, because that's
because you have the authority to land the plane. You can,
like, don't make me turn this plane around.
Yes.
I mean, it's the ultimate dad. It's
I'm having flashbacks to my childhood.
Right? It's like getting dad. I mean, you know, like, mom's like, all right, I'm going to get your father. Don't make me get your father. And then the father's like, children, don't make me turn this plane around.
Do you, when you go back there, do you say, listen, if you don't sit down, I will land this plane, and then the police will be waiting for you. But before they get to you, I will beat the hell out of you. Do you ever do that?
No, and this is because that guy was way bigger than I was.
No.
I'm 6'2", but about 160 pounds soaking wet, so I don't want to pick a fight I can't win.
Okay. Well.
Wow. That is like ultimate, like, dad mode is what that sounds like. Wow. It's like the family station
the biggest thing is, and you just have to stay very, very calm, you know, and I spoke very softly, but with, you know, with authority, and it worked out fine. So.
I will nosedive this plane for about 300 feet. See how you feel about that.
That's right.
Don't make me. All right. Well.
Wow, Patrick, that's awesome.
Patrick, we appreciate the conversation. Patrick Arnzen, CEO of Thrust Flight. Thank you again for talking with us.
Have a great day.
You too.
So go be a pilot, and you could do that.
Can you
think
imagine?
Man, I actually think that'd be a lot of fun. That might be the best part of the job, is that, oh, please, somebody act up back there, so that I can get up and walk back and be like, hey, if you don't sit down, I will land this plane.
In the ocean.
But I will do a barrel roll first. In this 747.
Buckle up, Buttercup. You're not going to like what's coming next.
Did you see this next on KMOX?
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
St. Louis, are you ready to rock? AC/DC is bringing the Power Up Tour to the Dome at America Center Tuesday, September 8th. Hear legendary hits like Back in Black, Thunderstruck, and Highway to Hell, performed live by one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Don't wait on tickets. They're still available at Ticketmaster.com. AC/DC, the Power Up Tour, Tuesday, September 8th. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Every step matters. That's why Steve All and the entire team at the All Financial Group have signed up to walk and fundraise for the St. Jude Walk on September 12th. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. And here's what makes them truly remarkable. Families never receive a bill from St. Jude, so parents can focus on one thing, and one thing only, their child. We want you to be a part of this. You can join our team and walk with us on September 12th or simply make a donation. And here's the good news. Steve will personally match every dollar you give up to $1,000. To donate or to register to walk with the All Financial Group, visit steveall.com. That's steveaul.com. Or call 636-230-8824 for more information. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, a registered investment advisor. All Financial Group LLC is not affiliated with St. Jude's Research Hospital and does not accept or collect donations on their behalf.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Amy, did you see that Cam Newton was at Mizzou practice yesterday?
No.
Yeah.
What's he doing there?
He knows Caden Lee, who was a transfer coming in from Ole Miss. He's a receiver. So you got Cam Newton out there.
That's fun.
Wearing Mizzou colors. He had a Mizzou hoodie on. Kind of, on the field. He was throwing the football around a little bit, catching footballs, holding a cup of coffee. He's huge, by the way.
Is he?
Dude is just massive. And also, he knew Eli Drinkwitz back when Eli was on the Auburn staff.
Everyone in the NFL is just an absolute freak. And you don't know it because when they're all on the field, it's all relative. So to scale, they look normal.
Even the little guys.
Yeah. And then you realize you are 250 pounds with 1% body fat.
Yeah.
With the speed and dexterity of an Olympian. I don't know how there are enough freaks to make a league. Like, that's what I think. They are literally the most unbelievable athletes you'll ever meet. I don't understand.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yep.
They're so much fun. All right, Ranj, do you remember when this spring Ferrari debuted its EV, its new electric vehicle, and it was roundly mocked? Like, people compared it to the Nissan Leaf. And even a former chairman of Ferrari said it didn't deserve the Ferrari badge, and everybody made fun of it and said it wasn't good looking. Well, it had a heck of a recovery because it just sold over the weekend for $40 million.
They only made one?
Well, this was the custom model of
Okay.
Ferrari's first electric vehicle. So it is technically, yes, a custom model. It's the first ever EV. It sold for $40 million, which is 36 times its original estimate. They don't know who the buyer is. Well, let me rephrase this. They know. They didn't release the name of the top bidder. But also the question is it worth getting a Ferrari if it's an electric vehicle?
Yeah, why not? If you got the money, why not?
Because it's the sound, it's the engine, it's the gas guzzling power. Because this is what the Ferrari EV sounds like.
Have you heard it?
No, that's what all EVs sound like.
No.
An ethereal choir of little children.
I think it'd be pretty awesome, honestly. I think it'd be pretty great.
Well, you can have
You'd
it.
have something that nobody else has. A Ferrari that's electric.
And then you'd have a dead battery.
Did you see, Amy, that, first of all, Columbia House still exists?
The
CD
place?
Yes, and it is shutting down.
Oh, that's sad.
It is shutting down next month on September 15th. It will be completely gone forever. I had no idea it was still even operating, but it has been since 1955, Columbia House. So this was the thing that you paid a penny and then you got like 12 CDs, but then you didn't realize you were paying over and over and over again.
I did not know it still existed.
I thought we were well past that. So yeah, Columbia House is gone in less than a month. That's amazing. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. We'll talk economy. We will talk a decline in the stock market, what that all means. So good conversation coming with Dave. A lot to get into with him, and we'll do that when we come back on KMOX.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm in the air conditioning business. I don't advertise that much. I was leaving a customer's home, and I was out in Illinois, and then as I was driving away, my fan for my air conditioner went out. I had to cross back over into St. Louis, where there was bridge construction, so massive rush hour, backed up traffic, windows down, sweating. I had to take it straight to the dealership to drop it off because there's no way I can function, much less work, without air conditioning in my truck. And I'm the same way in my house, and every homeowner, not every homeowner, but most homeowners are the exact same way. So if you're experiencing difficulties with your air conditioner, meaning you have none, call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Call me. God bless.
With less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-6409 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-6409. That's 800-220-6409. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-6409. Again, 800-220-6409.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Dollar General.
Meta Platforms launched a new open source version of the company's Muse AI model called Muse Glimmer. Along with the Muse Glimmer announcement, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg included a 14-page essay on his vision for artificial intelligence, saying that the U.S. needs to maintain its lead over China in the AI race, adding that AI power should not be concentrated in the hands of just a few companies. I'm Jason Brooks.
Back to school season is here, and Dollar General has everything you need to start the school year strong. Don't forget to grab a pair of bright yellow sunglasses from the Yellow Glasses Project for just $2. Every purchase makes a difference, with 100% of proceeds helping support teachers, classrooms, and nonprofit organizations working to improve reading and literacy skills across the country. Stop by Dollar General today and shine bright with the Yellow Glasses Project, available now at Dollar General. The Yellow Glasses Project is a program of the Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
It is 10 o'clock and we have sunny skies, 77 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Oil prices are climbing while talks with Iran are at a stalemate. Tension growing with U.S. allies as the ceasefire agreement with Iran expires. ABC News contributor and former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Doug Lute, says the U.S. has few options besides escalating or negotiating to end the war.
Eventually, the president could face an option, could design an option of evacuate, meaning that he accepts something that is far less than fully desirable, but good enough to craft a narrative that the U.S. backs away.
Americans cut their spending in July by the biggest amount in more than a year, according to recent data from the Commerce Department. Analysts say one factor was higher June spending. That was mostly because of World Cup and Amazon Prime events, but Navy Federal Credit Union's chief economist Heather Long said there's a bigger factor affecting consumers.
Since the war in Iran started, inflation is outpacing wage growth. People are literally getting squeezed financially in America.
Another day of testimony in the trial of a Massachusetts mother accused of murdering her 3 kids. Lindsay Clancy's former mother-in-law testifying today that Lindsay reached out for help with her postpartum mental illness. Here's ABC's Peter Haralambos.
Prosecutors appear to be kind of losing ground. We're hearing these text messages between Lindsay Clancy and her former mother-in-law where they're struggling with what to do about these medications, which Clancy's blaming for worsening her symptoms. Some of the messages, I'm not okay, I'm terrified of taking the meds tonight. I was never, ever this depressed. It was brought on by the medication. That's exactly the point that defense lawyers have been hammering at, and prosecutors, for whatever reason, are eliciting it with their questions.
This job is impossible. That's what Missouri child abuse investigators are saying as caseloads have surged again. According to The Independent, the Missouri Children's Division's goal is for no more than 15 open child abuse cases per worker. Many caseworkers have twice that, but in St. Louis County in July, the average caseworker had 97 open cases. The city average was 58. In recent years, the turnover of workers was about 55%. In 2023, there were 10,000 backlog child abuse cases, 6,000 of those in St. Louis City alone. When it comes to the top high schools in Missouri, St. Louis Public Schools snagging the top 2 spots, with Metro coming in first and Collegiate second. Both are magnet schools. Metro ranks 22nd in the nation and Collegiate 90th in the nation, according to U.S. News and World Report. Well, guess who leads the 2026 MTV Video Music Award nominations? Madonna. The pop icon has 19 competitive MTV VMA wins in her name. She also won the coveted Video Vanguard Award in 1986, the first female solo artist to win it. She is up for 11 awards at this year's ceremony, followed by Taylor Swift with 9. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling weather desk, we are going to have sunny to partly cloudy skies today with a high of 89 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 81 with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. It's 77 now. The weather sponsored by i3 Broadband. Summer celebrations are here, and i3 Broadband keeps you connected. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade today, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Every Tuesday, we talk to Dave Simons just after 10 o'clock, unless he stiffs us for whatever reason. Can't do it today, guys. I'm busy. But he's with us today, and we are happy to have him. He is the partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. And we got a lot to get into regarding this economy. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We all have questions. Dave Simons, thank you for being with us.
Chris, I am a busy dude, but always making sure I have time to talk to the two of you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you better.
Appreciate it.
That's right.
Of course, my favorite thing to do.
Can I ask you a question about the market?
Of course.
All right.
Well, that's what he's here for.
Well,
Yeah,
I just
sort
kind
of.
of, I always feel like I have to introduce the topic. And this topic is something that you brought up a couple of weeks ago, which is the late summer doldrums that the market could experience. You noted that we're slowly seeing an incremental decline in the market right now. Is this the doldrums?
It could be. Here's the interesting thing, Amy. If you talk to the what I call the big boys and girls of Wall Street, the big institutional traders that really they represent about 85% of the daily volume. They will tell you they're looking for an excuse to pare back. They want to take profits. We've had this huge bull market that's going to be coming up on its 4-year birthday by the end of 26, and it does worry, it does concern some of these bigger institutional traders. They're not saying that it's going to crash or anything like that, but we could have a decent little correction. But nobody wants to be the first person. All right. Nobody wants to say, okay, I am now going to start taking profits and paring back and go to the sidelines for a while because maybe the market's gotten a little too ahead of itself. There's a little bit too much AI hype. Because if you do that and you're wrong, you get fired as a mutual fund manager because your performance is down because you went to cash. I've seen that before as bubbles were emerging. And I'm not saying this is a major bubble, could be, but I got to tell you, they want to. So it's going to take a few brave souls to use some kind of cover, some excuse. Maybe it's, the Fed just raised interest rates. Who knows if that happens? Or the war takes another turn for the worse. They might use that as an excuse, and then we'll get that cascading effect. We're right there very close to, I think, something like that occurring.
You say nobody wants to be first, and I'm thinking of Margin Call. With Jeremy Irons, he's like, no, it's sure a hell of a lot easier to be first. I can't do a good Jeremy Irons.
What a great movie! If anyone has not seen that
it's very really good. Yes,
it is so good.
Yeah. So, David, in regard to this into the stock market, you had pointed out to us when we were talking before the show that there's a lot of borrowing that's being done to buy
speaking
stocks.
Of margin, yes.
Yeah, yes. So that seems like a pretty big problem, right?
It can be. Let me set it up this way. Everyone, look, if I were to ask you as an investor, what are the things that concern you? Okay, everyone kind of has some of the same answers. Well, the Iranian war, I don't know how long this is going to go. And are we still going to have problematic inflation? And what is the Fed going to do about it? And I don't know about this whole AI thing. It seems like there's a lot of hype, and that could that blow up? All legitimate concerns. And the three of us have talked about them quite a bit. But it's usually something over here in the corner that nobody is really paying a lot of attention to, which might be that small little genesis that starts that little ball rolling into the next big time correction or bear market. I'm not predicting that, but to your point, Chris, this whole thing about margin buying is now on our radar. Could this be one of the early signs that we might be nearing a top? So to give you the numbers, right now, we have over $1.5 trillion in the stock market that is borrowed money. Investors are using their current stock portfolio as collateral. They go to their financial institution and say, I'd like to borrow X number of dollars so I can buy even more stocks. I don't have any more cash, but I want to keep buying because I'm so bullish. That's okay. You're always going to have margin buying. Some of the big institutions do it. But we talked about one of the problems, I think it was just last week, right? Good old Leopold. Leopold Aschenbrenner, this wonderkind 23-year-old who used way too much margin to the hilt. And when we had the tech sell-off in July, it almost destroyed him. He had to be saved. Well, let's talk about the regular mom and pop who are listening to the show. And the regular investors, well, they're doing a lot of that now. And I'll give you one more stat here. The increase that we've seen in margin buying, it's 25% more than what the S&P has gone up. So yeah, if the S&P is going up and if margin buying goes up in tandem, I'm okay with that. But if margin buying using borrowed money that you have to pay interest on to buy even more stocks, if that number is going up so dramatically higher than the market itself, that's where I get a little worried. Well, we've seen a better than 25% increase. Only two other times have we seen a larger increase: at the top of the internet bubble and right before the Great Recession.
Oh, great.
Take that, folks. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's what you want to hear.
Not a prediction, by the way, because those were extreme percentages. Margin buying, by the way, in 2000 was over 60% above the S&P. And in 2007, it was above 40%. So I want to be careful. I don't mean to scare anybody. I'm just saying it is now on our radar. And we would probably start paring back and getting a little bit more defensive if that percentage keeps going higher.
That was going to be my question. Are there signs right now that it is going higher, or does it look to have plateaued?
Great question. It has plateaued over the past quarter. The real jump was from the beginning of 25 until maybe the late spring of this year. It hasn't gone down, but it has plateaued. And that's why we're not ready to get overly concerned and say, this is 08 all over again. But if that thing starts to go up even more, 30, 35%, and I'll be back on this, program that we have, and I will say, hey, guys, remember when I was talking in August? Well, guess what? This is what we're doing. The other one, real quickly, by the way, another sign that we're looking at is the dividend yield of the S&P 500 of the market. Historically, if you just bought the S&P 500 fund, you might get a 2.5% to 3% dividend yield out of it. It's only 1% right now. That's historically low. The only other time we ever saw it this low was, here we go, 99, 2000. That just tells you that stock prices have gone up so much faster at a faster pace than companies can even raise their dividends. So I'm telling you, folks, these little signs, those are the things that investors have to look at, not the headline news, because that's already factored into the market prices. Everybody knows about it. You're not going to surprise Wall Street to say, hey, did you hear about this war over in Iran? What? No, that's factored in. Not a lot of people, though, are paying attention to these other things that are looking eerily similar to the topping of the last great bear markets.
Well, okay, so that's not good. And I know that we have talked about artificial intelligence and maybe it being a bit bloated, and so many companies are investing all of this money and not all of them are getting the return for it. So there's that concern about a bubble there. And I was just reading a story about how San Francisco, that there are homes that are being sold for $1 million, $1.5 million over asking price. So like a home, I saw one example, a home was on the market for $990,000 and it sold for $2.5 million. So so you've got that going on. That seems like that seems unsustainable, and it's all being propped up by AI money. So if that market falls apart, it's a little doomsday here, but how would that affect everybody else?
Yeah, probably not as much, Chris, because that's centrally located in some of the more hot areas. You even just mentioned it. So much of it is AI in Silicon Valley over there in the San Francisco Bay Area and areas like that. I don't see that kind of excess in much of the rest of the market yet in the country. We've already seen, in fact, some declines happen in parts of Texas, which got overbuilt. Austin. I know Dallas, Fort Worth, even parts of Houston. So you've got these specific areas, geographical areas in the country that are seeing their own little corrections. That's okay. That's not what worries me. And I just want to make sure, going back to what we talked about with the margin buying and the dividend yield, I don't want to hang up here and people think, oh my gosh, Dave Simons thinks this thing's about to crash. No, I am not saying that. I am just saying now is not the time to reach for excess, to now load up on borrowed money, because we've seen this play out before. I think the market, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let me be very clear that this market could still hit some highs, still continue to move higher. But I do believe there is a day of reckoning. I just don't know if it's 6 months or 2 years. We'll just have to continue to talk about it.
It's interesting because you see, as you mentioned, the news headlines, you see the market react or not react. You talk about some of these bubbles, but overall, it feels like a consistent piece of advice is don't be rash.
Yes, not now.
Not now. And really kind of like not ever. I mean, is there ever a time to be like, oh my gosh, we've got to act now? Or when you make moves with your investments, is it pretty much always pretty slow, incremental, and intentional?
It really is. You and I, especially, Amy, can relate to this. It's the old marathon, not a sprint, right? Mm-hmm. And I know it's cliche, it's trite, but it is so true. It really is. Anyone who looks at stock market investing as, well, it's just a big bet, it's a casino, it's kind of gambling, I play the market. Well, guess what? You're never going to be successful if you look at it like that. If you really do look at it as a way to build wealth slowly and patiently over time, it works every time it's tried. Remember, market gains are chunky. They do not go up in some linear line up and to the right where, hey, I just average 8 to 10% a year. No, you will have one year you think, I don't even deserve this, but my portfolio made 22%. And then you see 12% go away the next year. And then it's up 6, 10, down 4. It's very chunky. So you do need to stay invested, but reasonably so, and over diversification. I'm in my 4th decade now, and I've been through all of the major bear markets of the last generation or two. And that patient, long-term outlook of investing and diversification works every time it's tried.
So in terms of, quickly, I think before we go here, in terms of retirement, there are surveys of people who believe, who are asked how much they think they should have when retirement hits. What's the right number?
It's in the eye of the beholder. I would like to spend a little bit more time on that. I think it's a great question. It's going to be hard to answer.
We can do it next week.
Let's make a note of it, because that is a great topic. Let me leave you with this. It is the most asked question that I have ever received in my career. If you added it all up, number one question, how much do I need in retirement? So let's address that next week.
It's called an appointment. Appointment
You
radio.
got it.
Appointment radio,
Tuesday,
baby.
10 o'clock next week. Be there.
Or be square. You got it.
Dave Simons, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Amy. Have a great rest of your week.
You too.
Dave Simons on the Quiver River Electric guest line. He is the partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. We'll talk some sports with Jacob Sersosimo from KMOV at 10:30. Cardinals split a doubleheader yesterday with the Reds. They have got a game tonight, 5:40, and it's right here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Healthy habits can help prevent many cancers. Siteman Cancer Center 8 Ways encourages simple steps like exercising, maintaining a healthy weight, limiting alcohol, protecting yourself from the sun, and getting recommended screenings. Even one healthy change can make a difference. Discover the 8 ways to better health at siteman.washu.edu. That's siteman.washu.edu. Siteman Cancer Center. Every decision matters.
Each week during the Redbird Rush Hour, we put a spotlight on someone who's making the community better using sports. It's building community with Busey Bank beyond the game. Join us this week for another story of someone who's finding a way to make a big impact on the community we all call home. Brought to you by Busey Bank.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey guys, Cam Jansen here. Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the South Hall. Choose from over 30 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% off MSRP. Financing is available. For more information, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
We started the show talking about the statement released by the St. Louis Police Union. And they are not happy with Mayor Kara Spencer about her having conversations at a funeral with other officers about pay and benefits. And both sides released statements. Chief Tracy has released a statement. We'll be talking to Robert Tracy, the chief of police, at 11 o'clock. We already had a interview scheduled with him prior to all of this. So we'll talk to him at 11. The mayor will be with us at 11:20. She'll be coming in studio to talk to us. Again, we have statements from all the parties involved, but now we'll actually get to have a conversation with at least the chief and the mayor. So that's coming up starting at 11 o'clock. Now, I have told you many, many times that I think people in Missouri are horrifically bad drivers.
Well, that you have been very vocal about that.
Yeah.
Hurtful, some
Yes.
would say.
Well,
Unusually, unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah, now I grew up in the area, but I grew up on the Illinois side where we know how to drive.
You
It's just-
think just because you took driver's ed makes you better than us?
Yeah, I mean, exactly right. And I feel like I was vindicated because I was scrolling through the gram yesterday. I don't know who this guy is. I do believe he's from the area, and he had a rant on St. Louis drivers.
Hey, I've road tripped through 45 U.S. states and 6 Canadian provinces, and I've never seen this happen anywhere else. But everyone in St. Louis does this for some reason, and I have no idea why. So, you know when you go to do a left turn, the light turns green, but it's not a green arrow, you're supposed to do the turn against traffic, wait for a break in traffic. Well, the idea is you pull up into the middle of the intersection and then you complete the turn when it's clear. But these St. Louis drivers, they wait behind the stop line, and then the light turns yellow, and then it turns red, and they're still behind the stop line, and then behind them, and it's bro, in LA, the rule is 3 to a yellow. 3 cars to a yellow, not 0. What is your problem?
Okay,
I think that what he was looking for at the beginning of that was left turn, yield on green. That's the phrase he was looking for.
Yeah, so this is the account is called the Sigma Workshop. And I saw that yesterday, and I went, thank you so much. Because I haven't experienced it every time, but I have experienced it here, and I think he's right.
He's right.
I don't see it anywhere else. And so what he's saying is, if you're in the left turn lane, the light turns green, but you don't have the arrow, and the oncoming traffic is coming by. You inch out into the intersection, wait for the traffic to stop, and then you go. That's how it always works everywhere. But people here sometimes just stay and wait.
So
there's not nearly enough honking here, as I've been saying.
No, it's really bad. It's really bad. This happened.
So you've experienced this.
Well, I actually 2 months ago, 2 months ago, experienced the worst one ever. It was, I believe, Webster Groves or Glendale. I'm not sure because they all smushed together, and I don't know where I was. It was Glendale or Webster Groves or Oakland or Kirkwood, one of those 4. And it's kind of a wonky intersection. It's not perpendicular. There's acute angles, so I get it. But it's left turn, yield on green. And we had someone, and it was rush hour. So, of course, the only way you're going to be able to make that left turn is to inch out into the intersection and make that turn at the last
Take advantage.
minute. We sat through 3 lights.
Oh,
this person would move, so guess what happened? The second car, the third car, and the 4th car behind this guy went around him and inched into the intersections and just went around them. And finally, this guy went before we had to go around him because we were, I don't know how many, 10 cars back. But I am not kidding. I've never seen a left turn yield on green where the car wouldn't go. And so it must have been I don't know, maybe a really nervous old person. I don't know. It was like that. They were just so timid they couldn't turn that the car's behind them. I've never seen that.
Did anybody honk?
People honked, but not. Ranj, I kid you not. Did I say we sat through 3 lights?
Yes.
I bet they didn't honk till the 3rd light.
That to me
insane.
Is what are we doing?
I almost got out of my car.
This is what do you think the horn is for? This is exactly when there could not be a more perfect time to honk your horn than one if you're going to get into an accident, guys inching over into your lane. Or something like this, hey, dude, get out there. This is, you don't sit at the line and then wait for it to be your turn and then go. No, you inch forward. In fact, starting today, I am beginning the Inch Forward campaign. So the Inch Forward campaign is for that left turn.
It sounds like a real campaign, actually.
But it's going to be dual meaning.
Okay.
It's going to be St. Louis, you need to learn to inch forward into the intersection and then make your left turn. Also, as a city, we need to inch forward.
You know what?
So it's a
This
dual
is legs.
campaign.
This has legs, Ranj. This is even
think
better.
so?
I hate to say it, but I think it might be better than Liberals for Christmas.
Liberals for Christmas is pretty good, too.
I mean, that was a great one.
Yeah.
It is. You have to first assume a war. You do have to assume a war first, and then the Liberals for Christmas has more legs. But this has so much. This has legs. You just got to promise me on your Inch Forward campaign. You have to tell people, don't be the idiot that blocks the entire intersection.
That's a completely different thing.
You have to go.
Yes.
If you inch forward, you have to go.
The only time you don't inch forward is if you don't think that you can clear the intersection once the light turns red. You only inch forward if you can clear the intersection on a red. Let's quickly go to Bob in Kirkwood. Or, I'm sorry, Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hey, guys. I'm telling you, Chris, I cannot agree with you about not enough honking. I get in trouble for honking. And if you're at a light and somebody... From my wife. She's like, stop honking.
Tell her to calm down. It always works. Always tell your wife or your girlfriend to calm down or relax. It always works.
And here is what I'm telling you. If you're at a light and there's 3 cars in front of you, if the car in the front is not doing what he's supposed to, it is the obligation of the person directly behind them to honk. And if that person doesn't honk, I'm honking at them to honk at the front person.
Thank you. You have to do the reminder honk. It's past this honk forward.
Rob, you totally get it. When the person abdicates their duty, the person behind the troublemaker and doesn't honk, now it's on us.
So this is
now we have to honk.
And Rob, thank you so much for the phone call.
That was a great call.
This is a reminder. So let's say you are the second person in line and the person in front of you is the one being the dummy.
Yeah.
And the guy behind you honks at you. Behind you honks at you. He's not honking at you. He is saying, "Hey, pass this honk forward, please." That's all that is. It's a courtesy. Thank you so much for getting it. We'll talk a little baseball, Cardinals baseball, and more with Jacob Sersosimo from KMOV in just a moment on KMOX.
We don't just cover St. Louis. We share it. That's why the stories you hear every morning aren't just headlines. They're about your neighborhood.
Ferguson's police chief took the stand in day one of
your roads.
Westbound 270 North County just had some volume on
your Cardinals.
Riley O'Brien strikes out the side in the 9th inning.
Your community.
I'm Tom Ackerman.
This is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch.
Total Information AM. Weekdays on KMOX.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
80 degrees, mostly sunny today, a high of 89. Cloudy with some heavy showers and a thunderstorm toward morning, a low of 71. Weather sponsored by Ricken Financial.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement with Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX, and get more at rickenfinancial.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Now, It is still hot out, although the fall is approaching. And so, again, when the weather changes, you're going to notice bugs and pests creeping into your home because they are looking for a winter home. That's why you need to call Rottler. Visit Rottler.com. First of all, when you call Rottler, a real person will answer the phone. Secondly, they can offer same-day or next-day service. So they have a technician that they can dispatch to your home. And also they have the Rottler promise that, with their program, if the problem isn't being solved, they'll come back. For instance, with moles, if you're dealing with moles in your front yard, they have a year-round program guaranteed. They don't charge per mole. Right? So you just know that they're going to take care of the problem. You don't have to worry about getting charged extra. And also with that program, since they do the service outside, you don't even have to be home. But yeah, whether you're dealing with ants, spiders, roaches, maybe stinging insects, Rottler can take care of your home and make sure that you, your family, your friends, and your pets are safe. For over 70 years, Rottler has been serving the St. Louis area and the surrounding areas. They are the largest family-owned pest control company in the state. Visit them today, Rottler.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
As Brule delivers the next pitch, and that's hit sharply to third, and it's going to go into left field. Misplayed at third, and the Reds are going to win it.
So the Cardinals split a doubleheader yesterday. They had an opportunity to take both games. They gave up the lead late and unfortunately earned just a split in Cincinnati. They're back at it today with a 5:40 first pitch. We got the pregame show on KMOX at 4:45. So we go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. We welcome in from KMOV and Matrix Midwest, Jacob Sersosimo, friend of the show, is with us now. How's it going, Jacob?
Good. How are you guys?
And we're doing okay. So let's talk a little bit about Joshua Baez. I want to start there because he had the brilliant game on Saturday, the historic game on Saturday. He has gone hitless since. So it's an 0 for 15 stretch. He has struck out 6 times. Can't make a huge deal about 3 games because it doesn't mean anything greater. But what are your thoughts on what's happened since that opening day for him?
I guess that's what you're in the big leagues for, right? To figure it out. I kind of feel like that was the plan for Joshua Baez. If they were going to bring him up to the big leagues, they knew he had the home run power, and that's what he did on Saturday when they called him up. But they also knew there were different parts of his at-bat experience that were a challenge. Now, when he is making contact, he is hitting the ball really hard. It's just not getting him on base at this point. But I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. Also, we're human. If Chris, if me or you were to go out there and have the best day of our life on day one,
I've never had the best day of my life. So yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's literally like it's like graduating high school on first day of freshman year.
Yeah, right.
And then they expect you to go to class the rest of the 4 years, right? It's going to be hard to replicate what you did on the first day. So I think having that historic day is fantastic. But now everybody's looking at him like, hey, how come you're not hitting bombs every single game? And so I think what he did this weekend and what he's doing right now is kind of a good representation, I think, of what this Cardinals team is doing this season. where they start out really hot and people get really, really excited, which is a fair reaction to what they did early in the season. And now that they've, plateaued out, so to speak, towards the end of the season now, this is kind of what fans expected. It's still better than what a lot of people expected, but this is more of a team that is what they expected. Now, I'm not saying no one expects Joshua Baez to get on base, but what you do game one gets a lot of people excited about what you can do. And you got to also remember he's facing major league pitching. This isn't AAA anymore. These are guys that see that 3 home runs and they go, we're going to try to exploit every single weakness that you have. And it seems like they're doing a pretty good job of it.
That is why Ron and I perform at a level every day that is pretty comfortably repeatable.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't do too much on any given day.
Yeah.
Because then somebody will say, why don't you do that every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Exactly.
and that's the thing. He knew, everybody knows you're not going to go out and hit 3 home runs. And he knows that. So I wonder if in the back of your mind or in the back of his mind, it's, I'm going to give a lesser performance, necessarily so, in my next few games. But what does that look like? And I'm sure it's been a little bit rougher than he would have wanted.
Correct. And I got to applaud kind of Ollie Marmol in this aspect of keep throwing him out there. And I think sometimes we forget, and I say we because I think I'm part of that, what this season actually is, right? We're bringing Joshua Baez up. In the Cardinals are bringing him up in a time where they can afford for him to struggle a little bit. And I know fans might not like me saying that because they are only 3 games back of a wild card spot, but they can afford for Josh Baez to struggle right now. Now, maybe next year they have bigger plans of actually being a postseason team, and they might not be able to afford him going through some of these growing pains, which that's why I kind of applaud Chaim Bloom and bringing him up at this point, because he's going to be able to struggle a bit, learn a lot, figure it out a bit, because I don't think I'm breaking news here, Raj. I think I've said this on these airwaves before, but this isn't a World Series team, and there's no secret about that. So if you're going to go through a season where you say we're going youth movement and we're going to look big picture for the next 3, 5, 8 years, then do that. And that's what they've done in bringing up Joshua Baez right now and saying, hey, learn major league pitching, and we're going to give you a chance right now, and then we'll go from there. And I think, it doesn't help he hasn't gotten a hit since he hit 3 bombs. But give it time. They're playing Cincinnati this week. They go to Philly, who they are chasing in that wild card race. But I think give him a little bit of time. He'll figure it out. And then once he plateaus a little bit, we'll kind of actually understand what kind of big league hitter Joshua Baez is.
Speaking of where they are, you mentioned the 3 games back place in the standings, because that's where they are now. They're tied with Miami, same exact record. They're both a couple of games behind Arizona, they are a game behind the Padres for that final spot. And I've been saying this for weeks it's not like I'm going out on a limb saying this, because if you just look at the league, and it's not quite as much as the American League, but there are so many teams that are within striking distance of the playoffs. And I've been saying that I think even if they don't get a wild card, they're going to be in the conversation in the last couple of weeks, maybe a couple of games out. Maybe if everything breaks right, they can really make a run. What I'm saying is I think they will be there in striking distance. So as you look at where they are now and the way they've performed for 4.5 months of a season, how good of a job do you think this coaching staff has done with what this season is supposed to be? Because you mentioned that we knew what this season was going to be about. So how do you view them and what they've done?
I think it's been a success. This is a team that had 0 expectations coming into this year. Fans were expecting this team to be nothing. There's a lot of players on this team with names that nobody in baseball even knew. And now we're in August and everyone knows Jordan Walker's name. Everyone now knows Joshua Baez's name. JJ Weatherholt signs a big contract and the league is looking at, are the Cardinals going to have the NL Rookie of the Year? This is a coaching staff that I think's done an exceptional job with this squad. And I think when they headed out on this road trip last week, and we were able to talk to them in the clubhouse and talk to manager Ollie Marmol the last couple of days of that homestand, one thing kept coming up, and it was they're playing meaningful baseball right now. And I truly, like, I think fans don't like to hear me say this, and that is totally fine, because I've had conversations with people, and sometimes we get so caught up in like the day-to-day, which I understand. I do too at times. But the fact that they're playing meaningful baseball right now, I think is a massive win for this team. You got guys like JJ Weatherholt and Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn that are understanding what it feels like in August and hopefully September to play meaningful baseball and for games to really mean something, to be in striking distance. And that experience is going to pay off in the next half decade. That is what they're trying to build here. And the fact that they're not out of it, like way out of it, like they're not the Mets right now, which is crazy to talk about, but like they're not the Mets right now in August, is huge for this team. These are guys that Ollie Marmol said early in the season, he's proud of the way they take at bats, because people have reached out to him and said, like, ninth inning, first inning, third inning, it doesn't matter. Your team is always taking like ninth inning at bats. And that is what they're being able to do right now as well. When they step in the box, they know how important these games are. And so playing meaningful baseball versus not meaningful baseball. And I talked to Matt Adams about it in our All Access Baseball show on Friday night last week. And he was like, this experience is phenomenal for these guys. And I agree with him. Like, playing meaningful baseball right now, I think is truly all that matters for this squad.
You know, you mentioned Walker, and I want to talk about him a little bit too, because he's had lots of ebbs and flows this season, up and down, but overall it's been pretty good. This month, he's back on it again. This month, a 351 average. His OPS is 937. I would say the only thing he's not really done is hit home runs. He's got a couple. He's got a couple this month. And you would expect a little bit more from him, maybe. But with 24 total on the season, I don't know how you would not be anything but happy with the way Walker has played this year.
I mean, it's difficult to look at post All-Star break compared to what he did before the All-Star break, right? Once again, we're stuck in this situation where someone has a really successful early part of something, and then they come, everyone's going to struggle. It's 162 games. He struggles a bit, and then we all start talking about, is Jordan Walker, not who we thought he was? No, he's exactly who we thought he was. He's the guy that when the Cardinals drafted him, they thought was going to be really good. It just took him a bit longer, but he got there in time. I mean, we're talking about a Jordan Walker that is fourth in RBI, was leading for a long time. Burleson's at the top, his teammate, but he's also on track. He's going to have 100 RBI this season.
Yeah.
Like, if you tell a Cardinals fan in January, hey, Jordan Walker, who a lot of people are hesitant about, he's going to have 100 RBIs this season, also going to win the home run derby, also going to be making diving catches in right field. Like, I think everyone's happy about that. Yes, there's times, especially I think there was a time in May he struggled a little bit, and then right after the All-Star break. But what we've seen consistently from Jordan Walker and the way he shows up and the way that he's been playing, I think fans have to be very, very, very pleased with what Jordan Walker has been doing this season. They had him mic'd up on I think it was
one of the Cubs.
They play
games.
on ABC.
Yeah, the national game. Yep.
On ABC, and they asked him about getting booed in Philly, and he said, yes, that just gets me really excited to play postseason baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you have pretty much your best player that hungry to play postseason baseball. It's August. You're playing meaningful baseball. I don't know if you're a Cardinals fan, how you're not excited about what he's doing and the mentality that he has to want to turn it around here. He wins the home run derby. He has a good season. He doesn't want to turn it around somewhere else. He doesn't want to go somewhere. He wants to turn it around here and play playoff baseball here.
I'll just say on Jordan Walker, John Rooney on the broadcast this weekend, especially with the success of Joshua Baez, said that, I think Baez might light another fire under Jordan Walker, or might get him amped up. And when you think about it, JJ Weatherholt too, here's a young guy having a great rookie year. Do you think it is a benefit, or that it is maybe kind of keeping that spark lit for Walker to have two young guys like Baez and Weatherholt?
Yeah, I think competition breeds competition, or like greatness there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have guys on your team that are like keep one-upping each other, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's if Joshua Baez goes out there and hits 3 home runs in his first 3 at bats. Everyone's looking around like, man, I kind of want to do that. You got a standing ovation at Wrigley Field? What? I kind of want to do that. That sounds fun. But I think that competition, especially around this young clubhouse, is really healthy for these guys. And you've kind of seen it all year long. Like, everybody's so happy for each other, but there's no doubt about it. Like, these guys are competitors. If, Mason Wynn goes 4 for 4, guy across the clubhouse is like, that's awesome. He helped us win. But I think tomorrow I want to go. Like, I want to be able to do that. And I'm going to work so that I can be able to do that. And I think that's been kind of a fun part to watch with this club this season, is how they've kind of bounced off each other, and how there's, a lot of friendly competition in that clubhouse, with everybody wanting to be so good. But the only way they're going to do it is together, and they understand that.
Jacob, as always, we appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on. And Amy and I promised that for the last hour and 12 minutes, we're gonna put our best effort together.
Well, I mean, our
Put
best
your best.
repeatable effort.
Yeah. Repeatable.
I looked at the rundown today. It was a lot of politics, but I'm glad I could bring you a little sports,
buddy,
a little fun here.
Just wait till next hour. We're going to talk to the police chief and the mayor.
Yeah,
I know. I didn't work yesterday, but when I get into work today, I got a lot of questions for the people in the newsroom. After I listened at 9 a.m. this morning, I got a lot of questions for people in the newsroom.
Thanks, Jacob.
What did I miss? See you guys.
Too much. You missed way too much.
I know. See you guys.
Jacob Sersosimo with KMOV and Matrix Midwest. And yes, we will talk to Police Chief Robert Tracy at 11 o'clock. Mayor Kara Spencer right after at 11:20 here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
St. Louis isn't just where we play, it's who we are. When the Cardinals take on the Pirates on Friday, August 28th, fans 21 and older can take home an exclusive City Connect quarter zip pullover presented by Budweiser. Inspired by the city we love, this new addition to the City Connect collection is the perfect way to show off your Cardinals pride. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Alec Burleson. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The hottest accessory at Busch Stadium this season is yours on Saturday, August 29th, when the Cardinals host the Pirates. That day, fans will take home a stylish, stadium-approved Cardinals purse, courtesy of Edward Jones. From the ballpark to brunch, this is the on-the-go purse you'll be reaching for all season long. And there's only one place to get it, at Busch Stadium on August 29th. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, it's Brew, and I feel like everything in my life depends on being connected. Whether I'm uploading a video, hopping on a call before my show, or video chatting with my family back in Michigan, I never have to think about my Wi-Fi. And that's why Xfinity stands out. You get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, you can get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones. Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Jurnavix suzetrigine begins. Jurnavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Jurnavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jurnavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Jurnavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jurnavix.com.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples with up to 40% off select tech. Staples.
That was easy.
Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 3-2 pitch with the runner going a swing.
Ready to elevate your game? Join the MBA Sportscasters Forum on Tuesday, September 15th in St. Louis. Learn from Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and Hall of Famer John Rooney as they break down play-by-play, reporting, interviewing, and covering the game. Then cap off the day with the Cardinals versus Giants at Busch Stadium. Step into the booth, sharpen your skills. Go to KMOX.com/events for details and registration. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, Ranj poked the bear when it comes to left turn yield on green.
Yes.
And people who refuse to inch through or into the intersection so that they can make that turn. Would you say that we're about half and half here with our texters who agree with you and those who don't agree with you?
Yeah, half right and half wrong, yeah.
Yeah. So here's a texter, 314 says, so if you inch out into the intersection, and let's say for conversation's sake, while you're sitting there waiting for oncoming traffic, which never stops coming and the light turns red, then as luck would have it, someone coming from the cross street has the green light and runs into you. How stupid is that?
Well, that means they're not paying attention.
Does it also mean that what I said is when you inch out, you have to turn. You can't stop.
Yeah, you have to make sure you can clear the intersection once the light turns red. That's the deal. Now, I have been told via text and via people here in-house that, well, actually, you're not allowed to inch forward. And I have been given the statute, which is RSMO section 304.281.
Okay.
A steady yellow light means a red light is coming, and you must not enter the intersection if you can stop safely. So waiting behind the stop line prevents that from happening, from you blocking traffic. Okay, that's a yellow light. We are talking about when the light turns green, you can move forward. We're not saying that, because technically, if the light turns yellow as you are approaching the traffic light, you're not supposed to blow through it on the yellow and beat the red.
Right.
You're supposed to stop. Like, that's the law. You're supposed to stop. What we are talking about here is once the light turns green, you can move forward. If it turns yellow while you're already in the intersection, you're good to go.
So 630 says, when I moved here from Chicago, I was told that inching out into the intersection was illegal in Missouri. 314.
By the way, how would anybody in Missouri know? They don't take driver's ed.
What's funny is I've only been told one thing about driving in St. Louis, and it was when I first came to St. Louis and moved to St. Louis. Sorry, the city. I've grown up in the area. When I first moved to the city, my friend goes, "You're going to love it. It's great. You can drive however you want." 314 says, there is a law in Missouri that states you cannot enter an intersection unless you can clear the intersection.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Clear the intersection.
Barry watching on YouTube says, when I was 16 on my driving test was perfect. The score was perfect, except points off for not honking at a vehicle. Yeah, see, honking is okay. You should do it. We're going to talk to the chief of police, Robert Tracy, not about this, but we had him scheduled anyway, but then the thing with the police union and the mayor at the funeral all came down, so we will talk to him and the mayor next hour on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
ZipRecruiter.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sunny skies, 81 degrees at 11 o'clock. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News. 53 kilos of cocaine seized from a home in Maryland Heights. Chad Jabo Brown appearing in court this week, charged with possession and intent to distribute. The DEA says Brown is linked to a large drug trafficking organization. He was formerly convicted of bank fraud in 2024, still on supervised release when he was arrested. Today, one of 2 court cases affecting the November election.
In Cole County Court, Secretary of State Denny Hoskins is being challenged by a group called Respect Missouri Voters. Hoskins did not allow a citizen's petition that seeks to protect the citizen petition process. His reasons: it must be about one subject and affecting one article of the Constitution to be legal. The courts must have the issues settled by September 8th if there are changes to the ballot. Ashley Bird, Missouri Net.
Oil prices climbing while talks with Iran are at a stalemate. Tension growing with U.S. allies after President Trump threatened to bomb Oman if its negotiations with Iran over the Strait of Hormuz interferes with White House aims. ABC News contributor and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, Mick Mulroy, says attacking Oman would damage U.S. leadership in the Gulf.
It would shred our alliances that we built over decades in the Middle East. And I don't think it's really any chance that it'll happen. I think the concern is that Oman could sign an agreement with Iran that validates Iran's claim over the strait in the first place. And that's just simply not the case. It's an international waterway, and it needs to remain that, both from the U.S. perspective, but also perspective of every country in the world.
Police in Philadelphia searching for a masked suspect whom investigators say has been terrorizing women. In surveillance video, the suspect can be seen wearing a Halloween-style mask and chasing a woman near City Hall. Kate Egan says her coworker was accosted by the suspect before a security guard intervened.
It's really unsettling just trying to get to work and having a kid like this running around like actively terrorizing women.
It's 11:02. Let's check the forecast.
We'll have sunshine and some clouds through this afternoon, a high of 89. Clouds will increase tonight, so we'll turn more humid with a couple of heavy showers and a thunderstorm toward dawn, low 72. A couple more showers and storms tomorrow with a high of 81, and it will be humid. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunny skies this midday, 81 degrees in Florissant, 82 in St. Peters, and 81 downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy here. Summer heat can put your garage door to the test. Stay ahead of the game with a Renner Garage Door summer tune-up. Plus, score a free repair or replacement quote and $100 off a new garage door. Forward and back.
RENNER. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line in this hour, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show. We had already had this interview scheduled with Police Chief Robert Tracy, and then yesterday, the police union issued a statement regarding the appearance of Mayor Kara Spencer at an officer's funeral, in which she engaged in discussions with some of the officers about their pay and benefits. And the union did not like that. We got a statement from the mayor saying she believes that statement mischaracterized what happened. And also, Police Chief Robert Tracy has issued a statement as well. He is with us now on KMOX. Chief Tracy, good to talk to you. How you doing?
All right, very good, Chris and Amy. And you're right. We had scheduled this almost a week ago, and here we are today. And I hope we can get into some of the good work and some of the things and the partnerships that we have today to really expand on what we're doing and let our listeners and the public know what the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department is doing.
We will absolutely get to that. And then, by the way, Mayor Spencer will be joining the show just after 11:20 as well. So in your statement regarding what happened at this funeral, you said that you were not present, you heard about what was discussed, and you heard the concerns of the officers, and you take them seriously. So what exactly are the concerns, and what happened at this funeral?
Well, first of all, let's talk about why we were there. Mental health and wellness, and an officer that died by suicide. There's a lot of people grieving. We're there for the family. We're there for everyone, our officers, and even myself. I feel this loss personally on any death of a member of the service that I work with, and it's a hard day. It's a very hard day, and then we got to look at ways to see how we can get better at mental health and wellness, take it out of the shadows, and to make sure people get help when they need it. And certainly we've come a long way when it's come to suicides in policing, but we still got a long way to go. So I really wanted to put that in perspective. But as far as listening to the concerns of the officers, yes, they did have concerns. I, as a chief, represent these police officers, and I know the mayor made a public statement. She apologized to have that conversation, and I think it's a lesson learned. And I think hopefully it doesn't happen again. And we really got to keep it focused to why we were there and what reasons we were there, and to make sure that we have Kevin Bradford's family in our prayers, and especially his mom, Kim, who I know personally.
Chief Tracy, yes, and we echo those sentiments, and I know, like you said, to get onto other work that the police have been doing. But just to clarify, since it has been in the news, the police officers that expressed their complaints and concerns to you, were those the three officers that spoke to the mayor, or were they officers who overheard the conversation?
No, I had one officer approach me. I didn't speak to all three. He did express some concerns of the conversation. And then the union absolutely spoke with the officers and got more detail and made their statement. And so the union and I both represent the police officers, and they actually made that statement. The mayor made her statement. As you can see, I followed up with a statement supporting the men and women and the concerns that they have. And, understanding it's an acknowledgement by the mayor that this probably wasn't the right time to have that conversation. And I think there's an apology out there, and lesson learned. And we just got to make sure that everybody understands this is not the place for this to have these type of conversations. And like I said, it doesn't repeat itself. So I'm looking more at making sure the officers are in a good place where they have to deal with an officer's death. We all have to deal with it, and to make sure that we get counseling as needed and any time that they need it, and especially after a traumatic incident like this. Let's remember, officers in their lifetime, they are exposed to about 500 times more than the average citizen traumatic events in their life, and these young officers already were exposed to things in just a short time or a year and a half on the job because they graduated with Kevin. So, I do take their concerns seriously, their concerns, and I issued my statement accordingly.
Yeah, I just want to clarify on the apology, because she apologized that, in just reading her statement, the apology was that the union mischaracterized what was going on, and now the family has to be, tangentially involved in this. That was the apology. It doesn't seem that she apologized for the conversation she was having with the officer. So do we know how the conversations came up? Did she, bombard them with it, or did it just sort of come up in passing?
Well, the union put out their statement as far as how it came up. I think the officers might have been taken aback to be talking about that at this time. And like I said, this is a volatile time of emotion and everything. So I did not interview them fully. I got the statement. I spoke to one officer, and the union actually took it from there. And it was expressed to me what happened. And here we are, and I think lesson learned, and an apology. I think it's an apology for everything that has happened, and probably broaching a subject like that. I think the person that's going to be coming on at 11:20, the mayor, I think you can ask that question directly, what she meant by the apology. I'm taking it as an apology for the whole incident.
We are talking to Police Chief Robert Tracy, and you may not want to get into this at the moment, but how do you feel about the contention she has that maybe officers should be being paid more as opposed to getting the benefits they are, which she believes to be disproportionate, that maybe they would appreciate the salary up front as opposed to having to wait for benefits down the road?
Well, Chris and Amy, at these at the police board public meetings, I've expressed, we've had difference of opinion on that. It's been expressed that we have these great benefits that when we retire from SLMPD, but we contribute to them, and that we're the only department in the whole world, the United States, it was told to us. I come from 3 other police departments. They probably have better benefits that the SLMPD officers are getting, and there's some in the region. I belong to the Major City Chiefs Association, and that's the 59 biggest police departments. I'm an executive board member, and I did an informal survey, and there's plenty of police departments with better benefits. And I'll tell you right now, I'm still receiving benefits and a pension from the NYPD that are actually better than what SLMPD is getting. So I don't see that argument, but if it's certainly that wants to be brought up in negotiations, let's do that with the union at the negotiation table and leave it out of where it was discussed.
Yeah, no, and thank you for sharing, because I think, too, there are a lot of people who do want to support the police, right, and direct more funds towards the police. And that conversation, as you mentioned, is it benefits? Do younger police officers just want more cash now if they have young families? That can be a valid discussion to have. And again, like you said, how it came up, we're not exactly sure. I know I've been at funerals where weird stuff does come up. I was saying I've stood in line and some, people are talking, or maybe you're reuniting with people. And so I do understand how a funeral situation can sometimes be kind of odd with that juxtaposition of daily life and grieving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, absolutely. And just, if we're going to talk about, benefits and salary and everything, these are young officers, and certainly, the mayor has expressed those publicly. She has publicly, and certainly the union and or the police board and myself will be happy to see any proposal that she has that would make sense and give us side-by-side analysis and a fiscal note on what that would cost. And we'd be more than happy to take the board and the union, I'm sure would be more than happy to look at, just saying it, let's see the results of where the mayor wants to be. Taking away from the funeral, let's bring us back to negotiations or I'm sure they're open to anything, and that's what negotiations are about. But bring that to the table, show us where that savings can be made and how salaries can come up. I would love to see where the city is coming up with their numbers, and we'll take a good look at that.
And before we move on, how good is your relationship with the mayor?
I've known the mayor since she's been an alderwoman. You know that I was brought in by Tashira Jones under her administration immediately before the general election. The state control was signed by the governor, and then I reported up to the governor's office for a few months until this board was put in place. So the mayor has a hard job coming in. She had the EF3 tornado and getting everything settled in. But I think more of the issue, I do work well with everybody in the administration. There's a lot of people that I had a great relationship that have stayed on with Kara Spence's or Mayor Kara Spence's administration. And I think some of the things is when you have a lawsuit against to try to get local control back, and then you see some things that come into raises and other things, it may look more contentious, or when you have to have public different philosophies. We're professionals. The mayor's a professional. The chief's a professional. And it's about making sure we keep this city safe. And that's what I'm going to continue to do within any type of governance that I have. So we keep it very professional.
Chief Tracy, you mentioned the great work that the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department is doing. And we've heard a lot about this coordinated law enforcement operation with ATF and the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department it's a violent crime enforcement surge for 60 days. I believe that started last week. And how has that been going? And, have any numbers that you want to share that it has been successful so far, or how you measure that success?
Well, we always look forward. I mean, I was asked the question at the press conference last Wednesday, if you watched it, if things are going in the right direction and crime is coming down, why would you look at these additional offices, and what is the need for them? Well, we certainly have a long way to go still. We're going in the right direction, and I'll never turn down resources. We work with the ATF, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, HSI, the U.S. Attorney's Office every single day since I've been here, prior to me being here, and every police department. When they can bring more resources in, we just tie them into the overall strategy plan, and then I have more discretionary resources to go after the people with the highest propensity for violence. And that, for 60 days, that's pretty good. I wish it would be longer, but, there's certainly these limited resources, even in the federal government, until we get ourselves back up to budgeted strength and a few hundred police officers. But this is going, I think it goes very well, only because of the relationship that we already have here with our federal and state partners. It's tremendous, and there's so many things that people don't know that we're doing to get every single day. So this is nice to talk about. It was nice to announce to the public, but I thought the public should know that although the feds are coming in, other cities has kind of gone sideways. Wanted to show you that this is a coordinated effort, and they're all working together to the common goal, and to make sure that we're working with our community and the local police department. So I think it's a great thing. I was waiting to get a 7-day report. So as you can see, I'm on my 7th day. Mitch McCoy will be putting some numbers out that we'll share with people. But I could share with you the overall crime and where we are in the city and how we're doing right now if we have time for that.
Yeah. So what's the progress that's being made?
Well, if you take a look at, and just throwing numbers out, right now we have 75 murders year to date compared to 88, 13 down from last year, compared to 104 in 2024, compared to 101 in 2023, compared to 125 in 2022, 118 in 2021, and in 2020 we had 169 murders. So we're almost 60% down from where we were several years ago. We continue the trend down, and then we're down in all crime categories, And if you take from 2022, we're down 43% in overall crime in this city and almost a 60% reduction in downtown and downtown west since 2022. These men and women, although we're understaffed, are doing a tremendous job in this methodology, working with everybody and working with the community and the strategies that we've put in place. And I'm very proud of the men and women of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and as well as commissioned and/or professional staff, because we're getting it all done together. And then now we're working on the recruitment. We're working on a lot of things that I can get into that if we do have time.
Well, just a little bit here. Yeah, we do need to break for the mayor, but and that was going to be my question about recruitment and trying to hire more officers. Where do you feel you are right now?
Well, we just had a fast track. 129 people came in about 2 months ago, where you got the bodies in and you got 3 parts of the test out of the way that would have been coming back 3 separate times, and then getting that application process. Hopefully, we just graduated 19. We have 20 in the academy right now. We should have 20 in the beginning of September and probably 20 at the end of September, and we're going to do another fast track. We have our own HR department, our own director of HR, and we've hired staff with her. So we're separated from the city, so we're not encumbered by the civil service and charter rules. We can get to these people quicker, and we have a better business model to get these officers in the pipeline. And of course, if you've seen with the Board of Police Commissioners, they give a raise to bring us somewhat competitive with the raise that they gave the officers. And then our command staff has been disinvested in for almost 12 years, and they were being paid $60,000 less than their counterpart in Kansas City and $60,000 less than their counterparts in the county a year. And then the board, that's why the raise was so high, to make sure that they're still not up to where their counterparts are, but at least they've made some progress to make sure it can retain people, make sure people may go up in the ranks, and then also we can be economically competitive now. And then over 40 officers that left our jurisdiction that we trained went to other jurisdictions. I've sworn them back. So we're starting to see the change. We're starting to see things happening. And of course, when you have steady leadership, the board gave me a 3-year contract on top of the 3 years that I just finished. And then now you have some consistency in leadership, and then there's trust in the community. And I think that all matters. And we're seeing the morale come up. And the best people to recruit for an organization is the people in it. And then when they're feeling good, they're feeling valued, and the public is trusting them, they're going to ask people to come into this profession.
Chief Tracy, we always appreciate our conversations with you. We know the news changed a little bit today, and some of this other stuff we do want to get into a little bit deeper with you. So hoping for another conversation soon.
Yeah, Chris and Amy, I'd always love to get on with you. Thank you very much for all you do, and appreciate your support.
And thank you again. And our thoughts are with all the family of the fallen police officer and all of the officers grieving right now. So thank you for sharing.
I appreciate your words. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Chief Robert Tracy of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. When we come back, we will talk to Mayor Kara Spencer. That is next on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Glover with my friend Mike at Michael's Baths. So when someone comes into your home to talk about remodeling your bathroom, wouldn't you rather talk to someone who's actually installed one? That's one of the cool things about Michael's Baths. Their experienced sales staff spent years as bathroom installers before moving into sales, so they understand the products, the installation, and what it takes to do the right job. They use premium products, provide professional installation, and their customers absolutely love the service. Call Michael's Baths at 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Running a business shouldn't feel like a juggling act. One app for accounting, another for inventory, one more for sales, and somehow they never work together. Or you could use Odoo. One fully integrated platform with all the business applications you need. CRM, inventory, accounting, marketing, and more. All working together seamlessly. Stop juggling software and get back to growing your business. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ann Wagner from Missouri's 2nd District. I work every day to put more money in your pocket, secure the border, protect our shared Missouri values, and keep our communities safe. Whether it's visiting one of my public events in neighborhoods around the district or by contacting my office, I want to hear from you. If you need help with a federal agency, please contact me at wagner.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Join Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost for Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement, every Saturday at 3 p.m. right here on KMOX. And get more, including the Kickin' with the Rickens podcast, when you visit rickenfinancial.com.
A century strong. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. We just had a conversation with Chief Robert Tracy about the recent funeral of the officer who had committed suicide. Mayor Kara Spencer was in attendance at that, and the police union yesterday releasing a statement essentially saying they weren't happy that she had conversations with some officers about pay and benefits. We just talked to the chief about that. We now have Mayor Kara Spencer in with us right now. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, so this is a thing that kind of came out of nowhere. Would you like to tell us what happened? Because it's from the union's perspective, it sounds like, you went up and started talking to a bunch of officers about what they were getting paid and would they like to be compensated differently. So how did this conversation start and how did it go?
Sure. Well, first of all, I think it's important to really center this conversation around what we were doing that day, which was remembering the life of an officer who's no longer with us. We were celebrating his life with his family, his friends, and his colleagues, and just reflecting on how difficult it is to be a police officer in the city of St. Louis. In that process of that, I noticed a few officers off to the side and recognized two of them that had graduated with Officer Bradford just last year. They came on the force. And so I went over and introduced myself and struck up a conversation. I mean, these guys have been on the force for around a year. And shared some incredible stories about some of the work they're doing and why they do it, what motivates them. And this is a pretty standard conversation I have with officers, to hear about the districts they work for, the sort of work that they do, and what motivates them to do a job that is incredibly difficult and very dangerous. And, they were sharing with me what that looks like for them. And, some pay compensation is part of what motivates folks. These young officers shared with me that they're motivated outside of that. And that's incredibly important, and humbling and should inspire us all in many ways. And it did for me. I'm inspired by the work that that they have done and will continue to do for our city.
So then, just in the course of a conversation, which we've talked about, there are a lot of organic conversations that happen. Did you then did you broach the topic of pay and benefits, saying how does this affect your motivation, or did they bring it up first?
I'd have to kind of reach back into my memory. I don't remember who broached it. The sort of what motivates you is a pretty standard conversation that I often have with officers of all ranks. Because it is important to understand what motivates these folks. And, I think most of the motivation does rest outside of compensation of any kind, whether it's salary or benefits. That's an important aspect of who carries a gun and protects us in our community. That being said, I think that the compensation piece is an important conversation for us all to be having. How we are doing that. I appreciated the questions here for the chief and centering around how we're making sure that we have the best motivated and best compensated police department in the region, in the United States. I mean, we have one of the most challenging cities. While our crime rates are going in the right direction, they're not keeping up with national standards. And it's important to recognize that our officers are working in some very, very challenging environments. We have a ton of vacancy and we have a ton of challenges. We have a lot of violent crime in our city and our region, and we ask a lot of them. And so I think it's important for us as community, particularly as the elected officials, to understand what motivates our police force.
The contention from the union, and Chief Tracy, I think, even said it similarly, that it wasn't the right setting for it, that this conversation should not have happened there, and that he had heard the concerns of his officers. He didn't go into great detail about that, but did you get any indication that the officers you were talking to did not like the conversation that was happening?
I didn't at all. They were asking questions. I spoke to some of the other officers who were around at that time, and they confirmed the same for me. But that being said, I mean, I would, it was a conversation that I left, frankly, really inspired by. I was grateful for the officers. I mentioned that as I, kind of exited that conversation and spoke with other folks there. I was just floored by the comments by the police union, frankly, and by the police chief. Chris, I have to say, in your questions, your interview, I really appreciated that, you clarified my apology. I think, when we think about our law enforcement, it's incredibly important that law enforcement officers are truthful at all times, and they don't, stretch the truth or mischaracterize things. I think my conversation with those young officers was mischaracterized. I mentioned that in my statement, and in my statement, apologies for the way in which this was being described was very different than what the chief mentioned on air here just a few minutes ago. It's important that we be able to trust our law enforcement. It's incredibly important. I mean, right now, for me, as I'm sitting here, you mentioned the chief was talking about the relationship with the ATF and the federal partners here. And as we go into our board meeting tomorrow, I'm really centering around how that decision was made. In a democracy, it's just so incredibly important. The fundamentals of democracy are that our citizens elect their leaders, their decision makers, and they're accountable to the public by way of elections. They're accountable to the public. And right now, my question is, who's really running the police department? Are the police board members involved in these decisions? Are they involved in subsequent decisions about other federal partners? As mayor, I certainly wasn't consulted in any of these matters. And how are we accountable to the public that elects, in a democracy? The city of St. Louis is a democracy, should be, and we should all be concerned when decision makers are not accountable to the general public.
The Police Officers Union or association, I should say, Police Officers Association, was pretty unequivocal in being critical about the conversation in its public statement. Did the association reach out to you privately before it issued its public statement?
I've not heard from either the police officers union, the chief, or any officers related to the matter other than a handful of officers who've reached out and frankly apologized for what I'm experiencing as the chief elected office holder in the city of St. Louis. So no, Amy, I have not heard from them directly about any concerns.
So the public statement was the first thing that you saw.
That is correct, yes. And we were not made aware of it directly, but, heard about it, saw it, which is, just a really unfortunate way of interacting with the chief elected office holder of the city of St. Louis. Look, I've served now for 12 years in public office, and, I've served through some very, very challenging times. During that, my North Star has always been to pull the police department and community back together. And I think as office holders, that is our chief responsibility in many ways. If we're not recognizing that the community has had and continues to have challenges, issues, concerns about the police department, but that it is our job to weave our police department and the community that it serves, the communities that it serves back together, should be a core focus of our city government. And unfortunately, the actions, the words here are doing the opposite. It's incredibly dangerous when you think about it from a purely should a democracy function perspective.
Have you tried to reach out to the union or to Chief Tracy after this happened and get some clarification from your end?
I have not. I mean, we learned about this late last night, and then as this morning unfolded, my schedule was pretty packed here this morning. Had planned to, then saw that the chief was going to be on your show. Came here. I haven't had that opportunity yet. But certainly would welcome that conversation. I mean, again, I just think that. What really truth telling is critical. There was no debate from my perspective. Again, spoke to several other officers that were there, several other people that were there. And our perspective, my perspective is very different. Look at, the folks, both the chief and the members of the police union have both admitted they weren't present. And so, but I was there. I do, it's often during all sorts of events, people have conversations about all sorts of things. And I do want to center, make sure that I'm centering, even reflecting on it, on what we were there to do last week, which was to remember the life of an officer. But
you don't feel like you regret it coming up at all, whether you brought it up or they brought it up, however it happened. You don't think it was in hindsight, a bad time to have the conversation?
Look, I think that I think it's important to talk to our officers, the folks who choose to wear a uniform at all times. I mean, I always welcome the opportunity to have a real conversation with anyone who chooses law enforcement as a career, particularly in our city, who chooses to serve our city in the most dangerous and one of the most impactful ways that a person can choose to serve our city. And I welcome that opportunity all the time, and I stand by that. I think we should always encourage our elected officials to have real conversations with the folks who serve, and to discourage that, I think, does a disservice to everyone, especially those who choose to wear the badge.
So I know I asked you if you had spoken to anybody with the union or the chief. Are you going to plan to do that?
I'll reflect on that. I mean, I think certainly have conversations with the police union and the chief on a regular basis. I'll see the chief tomorrow. As time allows, we'll probably reach out later at some point today. But really, I think, we're going to be at police board tomorrow. I'm certain that this will continue to be a topic of discussion. But look, I understand why the police union wants to prevent elected officials from speaking directly with officers. They want to own that relationship in those negotiations. And look, I think I bring up some very valid points, generally speaking, when it comes to compensation. I talked about this a little bit on your show last time. I mean, we've got to get serious about re-envisioning how we compensate our police department so that we can have the best compensated and the best staffed police department in the region. And until we really have a holistic conversation about that, we're not going to get anywhere. The chief mentioned having an analysis. I welcome that. It's not something that the mayor should unilaterally do or the city has undone in the past. The police department, those are expensive and thorough analyses that need to take place. I welcome that. And I think it's high time that we should be having those serious conversations. Absolutely.
And I brought this up earlier, so I'll just have you clarify the position that we've talked about previously with you. You were saying, looking at the benefits, because Police Chief Tracy did bring up the benefits, and he said it was better than some of the departments he had worked at, or over on the East Coast, and brought up how those departments had better benefits than St. Louis. Excuse me, just to be clear, that St. Louis was not the best he'd ever seen, that those departments had better benefits, and that we had talked and you had said the benefits are very generous here, and that a lot of young officers would want cash first. Say, hey, let's raise their salaries.
Yeah.
Let's raise their salaries. So do you want to kind of clarify that?
Sure.
Position?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if you take an officer starting at $70,000 a year, right, our benefits package is worth about 115% of the salary. And I think any one of your listeners who's familiar with benefits packages in the private or public sector recognizes that's a very, very generous benefits package. For some perspective, a regular worker for the city of St. Louis has a benefits package far and above beyond what a private sector average would be, and we're at 40%. So the police department has about, almost 3 times the value of a benefits package that even a civilian government employee for the city of St. Louis has. So my point is, when you have a $70,000 a year police officer, their total compensation package is around $150,000. Imagine if we could just take that $150,000 a year and reconfigure it and give that police officer, say, $90,000 a year and still have a benefits package worth $60,000 a year, which would be still far and above what the private sector or most public sector, including every other employee for the city of St. Louis, including the fire department, has. We would have the best paid, best compensated, some of the best paid and best compensated police departments in the region, and we would be able to recruit under that. But until we get serious about having those conversations, we're going to continue to lag behind on the hiring. And that's a real disservice to each and every person who wears the badge and wants to serve our city.
Mayor Spencer, as always, we appreciate you coming in and giving us your time. So thank you once again.
Of course, and just really appreciate your thoughtfulness and the conversation you had with the chief and the opportunity to come on and talk about these issues here today.
That is Mayor Kara Spencer with us. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
All access with Ollie Marble on the Gas House Gang.
When things aren't going well, I feel like there is a responsibility to answer to it. Even the kid that apologized for yelling, "Let's go, wake up." His seats were the first seats right behind the dugout. You paid good money for those. You get the yell. So if you have an opinion, if you have questions, I'd rather take the time, especially when things aren't going the way our fan base would like, just answer them.
Ollie Marble, Tuesdays at noon on KMOX.
Summer is officially here, and that means the family internet, it is working overtime. All our lives are always online, and that's why I rely on i3 Broadband. Traditional cable just can't keep up, but i3 delivers 100% true fiber directly into my home for ultra-smooth, reliable performance. Plus, they're a local provider that actually treats you like a neighbor. Skip the fake fiber. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade, because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. So I'm telling you guys all the time, if you have a complicated medical issue, hire the best doctor you can. If a complicated legal issue, hire the best lawyer you can. Stewie, same thing goes for a mortgage.
You know what, Dave? That's so important. And most people today, they go on a computer and they say, okay, I'm shopping for a mortgage. I'll get some rocket ship mortgage or something else, and that's what I'll do. Wrong. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Don't be foolish. When you're making a major decision like this, you want to have an expert, and you want that expert to be available when it's convenient for you. We give out our personal cell phone number. You can call us nights, weekends. Text us when you're available. This is called accessibility to the biggest and best expert. That's us. You can get the right advice and the right product when you connect.
Call us to it on his cell phone, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
You know, most sellers put their home on the market and they just wait to see what happens. Well, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one that I trust. That's Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
82 degrees, real feel 96. Mostly sunny today, a high of 89. Tonight becoming cloudy with some heavy showers and a thunderstorm toward morning, a low of 71. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Today, the Cards, the Reds.
Ameren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX spoke with Chief Robert Tracy of the St. Louis Police Department and then Mayor Kara Spencer. Followed up good conversations with both, and I think we learned a little bit about what happened, at least according to the parties involved here. And the mayor, who just left the studio here a few moments ago, talking about the situation at the funeral in which compensation did come up with a couple of officers that she was speaking to. And, you know, like I think what struck me, and Amy and I were just talking about this, that the union did not even reach out to her and say, hey, what are you doing talking to officers about compensation? It's not the time or place. They didn't reach out. They just put out a statement. They put out a statement last night berating her, essentially, which that doesn't seem to me to be the right way to go about it. If you really do have a problem with how that was done and that the subject of compensation and benefits came up at a funeral of an officer who had committed suicide, then you should probably speak to the mayor and do both, actually. Speak to the mayor first, and then if you still feel like a statement needs to be made because the mayor's not getting it, then yeah, make a statement. But Otherwise, this just seems like it to me, it reads like a political move, like I thought when we talked about it at the beginning of the show. And I don't know what the benefit is for them.
Yeah, we weren't there, and like I said, I think I probably bumbled when I said it, but when you're at funerals, there are a lot of conversations that happen, and it's very somber, and it depends on who you're talking to and how a conversation evolves. Sometimes, like I said, in the back of a line, a conversation can be very casual, where I've been in line at a visitation to see to wait for for the visitation, and it's very, very somber, but then there are people like reuniting. Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, how are the kids? How'd the soccer game go? Which feels very odd, right? It's a very weird juxtaposition, and so that's why trying to put myself in this situation, I can see where it was appropriate, I can see where it was inappropriate. I don't know, I wasn't there, but what does strike me is, even if you assume the worst of the mayor in the conversation, let's say you assume the worst, I'm kind of surprised that the police association decided to handle it with a public statement and not reaching out to her privately first. I don't know. I just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just odd. I don't know.
Well, yeah. It seems to me like it's maybe, and I don't know exactly what the motivation is, but maybe it is because there is this stress that's happened between the mayor's office, the city leadership, the police board that has been forced upon them when the people in St. Louis didn't vote for it. And now you've got the chief in the middle of all of it. I feel like maybe this is an attempt to discredit the mayor so that maybe people will side with the police board and say, well, she doesn't know what she's doing, so, let's just listen to the police board and not the mayor, who is part of the board, right? So I don't really know. It doesn't seem to benefit the city, I will tell you that. I don't know that we are moving forward in a good direction with this. I think the statements, well, the first statement was probably unnecessary, and that conversation should have been had privately first. And again, if you feel like the mayor is still not getting it and not on your side, then okay, make a statement, I suppose. Let us know what you think. 314-436-7900. You can text in. We don't have a whole lot of time left. Gas House Gang is coming up at 12, and Oliver Marmol will be on the show today. Cardinals manager, Bernie Ackerman, and me on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Hey guys, Cam Jansen here. Don't miss a hot tub and swim spa blowout sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center in the South Hall. Choose from over 30 American-made units on display. See hot tubs, swim spas, and cold tubs all ready for immediate delivery. Save up to 50% off MSRP. Financing is available. For more information, call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
James Beard award-winning chef Kevin Nashin announces The Clydesdale, a Clark Avenue Tavern at Ballpark Village, opening August 27th. KMOX is excited for this highly anticipated American tavern, rooted in familiar favorites, elevated through refined technique and premium ingredients. Reservations for the Clydesdale are now open. Book your table and experience a fresh take on tavern dining on one of the most iconic streets in Major League Baseball. For details and reservations, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Right now, inflation is squeezing your budget. Global events are shaking markets overnight, and if you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. This isn't the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the All Financial Group are hosting a complimentary educational seminar on August 27th and September 1st at Twisted Tree. Find out if your retirement strategy can survive today's economy, rising costs, market volatility, political uncertainty, and the questions most people avoid, like could you outlive your money? When should you file for Social Security? Is your 401k carrying too much risk? This event is complimentary and you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. All Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Oliver Marmol coming up on the Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock. A lot to talk to him about.
You're talking to all of the big wigs today.
All the people. We had Chief Robert Tracy on, St. Louis Police. We had Mayor Kara Spencer on. And we would highly recommend going back to the Odyssey app, iHeart app, KMOX.com, wherever you get your podcasts, and listen to both interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to Chief Tracy, listen to the mayor, and maybe listen to them in order, just, so you can have an idea of what's been going on.
And, go back and you can read the police officer association statement, read their statement verbatim, because I read part of it.
Start with that.
Yeah, I read.
Start with the union statement,
Yes.
the mayor's response, and then Chief Tracy's written
Statement.
response. And then go listen to the interviews.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure what to make of it, even except that just looking at it from, 30,000 feet, it's an adversarial relationship that doesn't need to happen. And I think it's really because the board exists. Because this board was forced on the city that the city doesn't want, and I'm not sure it is helpful. I'm not sure that this whole relationship is helpful.
It has felt very antagonistic and adversarial, as you said, and it feels like it's needlessly so. I'm a little confused why it seems to be going so poorly because, when you want to have hope, if the board's happening, if there's a state takeover of police, after the city had run it since 2013, 2014. But, that's when the city took over and now the state's taken over again. You're like, okay, well, let's hope for the best, right? Let's see what happens. Because there was a big change, not only with the state takeover of the police, but Mayor Tashara Jones is not mayor anymore. And she was much more adversarial to the police.
You're getting to your best point, which you
Finally.
Which I mean, you said this during the break, but it's this simple. This is not an anti-police mayor.
Right, because that's why I'm confused, because they're not dealing with Tashara Jones, who, did defund the police effectively by redirecting millions of funds, of millions of dollars away from the police, which was much more adversarial. Kim Gardner was adversarial, right, to the police. I mean, it was a different city situation, and so
she certainly wasn't helpful.
She wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, now you do have a more functioning system with Mayor Kara Spencer. And of course, you have Gabe Gore, not that he has anything to do with it, but just kind of the overall vibe does tend to see that it's going to work better with law enforcement, and Kara Spencer is not against the police. And so I'm a little confused as to why. And not that they're going to align on everything.
Right,
I'm not
right.
saying they're going to align. I can see how there'd be some conflict for sure. I'm just surprised that out of the gate it seems to not be going well.
Ultimately, there's nothing about this mayor so far that indicates a person who does not want to cooperate with the police department. So I'm not really sure why it's where it is at the moment. Again, go back and read all the statements that happened, and then the interviews on KMOX.com, Odyssey app, iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcast. Chief Tracy, Mayor Spencer. Go listen to both. Chris and Amy will be back with you tomorrow at 9. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol is next. Wow! That's the whole morning.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money.